uh, we get so many questions about trials, how to get scouted, give me a tryout, all this kind of stuff. And we thought we'd just dedicate an entire episode today to talking about this topic because, Sam, you've been on many trials, right?
Too many. Too many.
Too many. I've been on trials literally all across the world, guys. I don't know how many different teams I've played and trained with. I mean, dozens, literally dozens in so many different countries around the world. What's the furthest outside of Europe you've gone on trial, Sam?
Furthest outside of Europe, I've gone on trial.
Or the furthest from the UK? We'll start with that.
Probably Turkey.
Turkey.
Yeah.
Did you go to Turkey? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was trialing for Galatasaray in like the academy when I got released
Were
from.
you?
When I got released from Watford Academy, I went to on trial at Galatasaray after. Yeah.
I did not know that. How did that happen? What was going on there?
Just my agent at the time said, "Listen, there's an opportunity for you to go out there. Are you up for it?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" I wanted to change anyways. I wanted something new, and I wanted that to experience, playing in another country. So I went there, and to be honest, it was actually a really it was one of those trials where I actually enjoyed it. A lot of times you go on trial and you're like, oh,
Mm.
but I actually enjoyed it. Like the trial, like they looked after me very well. All the other players at the team were great. But it was one of those trials which I remember very well, and it was good, very enjoyable.
That's something I've already learned today. Anton Ski asked, what country was the hardest to train in? Uh, Guys, we got a lot of questions going on about trials and all that today, so we're going to cover that. But we're going to start off with a video. And Sam, this video popped up in my feed just the other day, and I thought I'd save it for this podcast we're doing today. So I'm just going to play it. It's basically two Australians or a couple of Australians talking about their trials in Europe, and they just give their honest takes. Let's watch that.
Trials the worst, bro.
I think it's an awful experience.
Where have you trialled at?
Wanderers, Burnian, Blackburn Rovers, Reading, Oldham Athletic.
Sunderland, Blackpool, Shrewsbury Town, Shamrock Rovers, Western United, Melbourne City.
I've never fucking trialled anywhere. Why is trialling an awful experience?
It's like going to the first day of school and you're the odd kid out. Everyone's got a reason to be connected by you and you're on show and being judged. That is your life for the next 2 weeks.
You are the bait, and clubs should stop doing this. But there is sometimes you will go on trial and you will have different uniform than the team. Like the whole team will be in black and you'll be in orange.
Well, you might not get spoken to all week. You might not.
You'll be in a different change room.
It's you versus everyone all week. It's actually quite a lot of stress.
Yeah.
What would be some advice you would give them? A few tips when you are on trial, because it's uncomfortable. You can't change that.
Okay, so if you go over to the UK and you're trialing there, if you are not 3 to 5 times better than what they have already in their academy system, they won't sign you. You can be one of the better players there, even in their first team. If you go there as an overseas player, you have to not be on the same level. You have to be better. And then in the A-League, it just depends. Like I went into Wanderers as a bit of a techie player, where Papa liked me, and I just had one bad game because I hadn't played for 4 months. All week at training, I trained well, but I had one bad game, so I didn't get a contract. Rashid's story when he goes to Wanderers is he clattered cunts in the first 2 days and got signed after 2 days.
Yeah. I think the perfect way to put it is know that you've already got the answer no. So all you can try for is to get the yes.
I hear a lot of times like, in trials are only going to pick players who stand out. So do you have to take your strengths and then multiply on your strengths?
Like, don't try and outplay yourself. Don't do shit that you haven't done before,
Just complex, right? Because like you may be really good, but the coach may realize, we don't need this type of player.
What was the scariest trial you had in terms of I'm shitting my pants?
Mine was Sunderland for sure, bro. In terms of the facility, I was like, this is the Prem.
Blackburn was the first team. Mad, Steph. These millionaires, bro. Tom Kenny, captain of Blackburn, when I was there, and it's like, bro, he almost ran me over in this matte black Range Rover, and I got dropped there by my uncle in like a shitty Ford. So you think of the mental real estate in the field.
He tried to kill you because you were taking his spot.
And well, he's also in like a $400,000 car. Yeah, and I've just been dropped by my uncle whose house I'm sleeping at. Like,
A lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
First thoughts on this video.
A lot of it is actually, I think a lot of it is actually true. Especially the bit where when you go on trial, especially in the UK, if you're not better, then you could be like 3 to 5 times at least better than what they already have. You're not gonna get in, and it's as simple as that. So if you're going on trial, you need to make sure you are better than your opposite number in that team. Otherwise, you could be as good as that player. You can be maybe just a tad better, but they just won't. It's not worth the risk of a whole change or bringing in someone else. That was an interesting point, which I agreed on, and also the fact of sometimes you go on trial and you're in different kit than all the other players, and you just feel like an outsider. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on which club you go to. Obviously, like I've been on also many trials. The majority of trials, especially at the good clubs, like they're going to give you kit.
Yeah,
They're going to give you something that the other players are also wearing. But yeah, there are plenty of trials where like yeah, you need to wear your own stuff. And yeah, you do feel a bit out of place. I think it's just something you get used to. And after the maybe the first time it's a bit awkward, second, third time, whatever, it's just like yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I think what they say here about it's a performance, you got to put on a show, and you're also doing it in an environment where you don't know the people around you, you don't know who the coach is, and you know that you're on show. Yeah, it makes things difficult.
fully. No, I 100% agree. And I think that's all part and parcel of trials, to be honest. Like when you go on a trial, especially like the players that are already signed at the club and they see you coming in, and it could be like players that play in the same position as you, mate. They are gonna be 9 times out of 10 they won't be friendly with you, and that is the fact of the matter. And like they will try and do anything they can to make sure you don't get that contract, because at the end of the day, you're coming to take their position, you're coming to take their shirt. So trials are not designed for you to go there and make friends, and make friends for life, etc. Don't get me wrong, that will come after. So once you sign, you will start to build that relationship with the other players and your teammates. But before you sign, trust me, you got to make sure you have that mindset of ignore anything that tries to happen, ignore any kind of negative energy that you get from the players that are already there, and just focus on yourself and focus on doing well.
Yeah, what's the worst experience you've had with this kind of thing? Like, give us some examples, Sam, about like kind of how you feel. Maybe someone tried to intimidate you or something.
You always get that. Like I remember, where was it? I went on trial to Sheffield Wednesday at the time, right? I went to Sheffield Wednesday, and then this was before I actually signed for Watford. So I went on trial to Sheffield Wednesday to try and get a scholar there, and then the striker that was already there, some Irish guy. He you could tell straight away as soon as I come in on trial. He was like me and him, like there was no friendliness whatsoever. So you could tell he already tried to set that boundary of like, I'm not gonna. This guy's coming to take my shirt. Like I am not going to allow this to happen, and I'll do anything it takes off the pitch to try and put him off, to try and intimidate him. And you just literally have to have that kind of mindset of, and just to understand, like they only do that because they're threatened. The only reason they do that is because they're threatened and they feel like someone else is coming to take my shirt. It's not because they don't like you. It's not because you've done anything. At the end of the day, they feel like in danger right now. They feel like, oh my god, like this is my opportunity. This is my chance, and he's gonna come take that away from me. So when you go on trial, my biggest advice is when you go there, literally go there on your roles and responsibilities on that trial, and all the outside noise that you might hear, or the negative stuff, it has to go through one ear out the other. Literally, if you let it affect you, you're done. You're done. Your trial, like, trust me, you could be day one and you let it affect you on the pitch, to express yourself, because you'll feel on edge. You'll feel like, oh, these players don't like me, and you won't be able to perform. You won't be able to perform. Trust me, that's happened. And I'm sure you probably experienced similar things to that as well, Nick.
Yeah, and Dot says they try so hard to get in your head. I think yeah, but you know what it is like. I can't really recall an experience where someone was like, they won't say it to you directly, right? Like
Hmm.
like you know we're competition. I'm gonna get you or something. And you're like,
No, they never. Yeah, they never do that.
yeah, you feel the. It's kind of like being in the animal kingdom, right? And you're trying to be the fastest lion or whatever,
Mm.
and so you feel this tension. But I've always just looked at it as this kind of competitive spirit, and both of you are competitors, or you and the team are competitors, and like, it's just, you look at it as this. Look, we're gonna just treat this as a challenge, and it can be like good fun in a way. It's good fun. Yeah, there's pressure. Yeah, there's something on the line. But then if you feel pressure, or if you feel like there's too much on the line, that's also this environment working against you, right?
Hmm.
So I think if you can stay calm and relax and focus on your own game in this environment, then that's going to say a lot about your character, and a lot about your life going forward, how you deal with these situations.
Yeah, fully agree with that as well. And I think that goes like for anything in life, not just football. When if you're going for a job interview for to be, I don't know, a salesman or whatever, you're going to be up against the other salesmen, at the company, and you've got to make sure that you're matching them, or you're hitting bigger numbers than they are. And that goes for football as well. So yeah, it's just about making sure that you always come out on top. And the saying that they always say is football is like a dog. It's dog eat dog. It's ruthless. It's a ruthless business. And if you're not up to standard, you just won't make the cut, and it's as simple as that.
100%, 100%. And that's one thing that Sam just said, guys. It's a ruthless business, and that's why you got to always expect that ruthless vibe, especially in trials when like there's so many people trying to get to one spot. So yeah, keep that in mind, and just keep a positive mindset about that for sure. Sam, there's a couple of questions in the chat before I get you some more questions.
Yeah.
We have he doesn't want his name said out loud, but we'll just call him Z for now. Z says, how to deal with rejection.
How to deal with rejection? Good question. So rejection, setbacks is all part of football. It's all part of the journey. You're gonna get more rejections than you will get yeses in your football career, and that is the truth of the matter. So if you do get rejected, if you go on trial, you don't get in, and you do get rejected, how are you gonna take that? You can take that in two ways. You can take that in a way of like, it affects you bad in the sense of you start doubting yourself. You start having that kind of self doubt to tell yourself, am I actually good enough? Is football for me? Should I pack it in? Should I just start doing something else? And that is just a downward spiral. From then it just keeps going down, and it gets worse and worse, because you are telling yourself, and you're putting negative kind of energy into yourself, that you're not good enough. And that's only one person's opinion. Okay, so remember, guys, football is a game of opinions. One manager might like you, one manager might prefer someone else. That's just how the game works, But your next trial that you go to, the manager might be like, I really like this player. He's exactly what we're looking for. He suits our style of play. I want to sign him. And again, it just comes back down to opinions, and just being in that environment where, to understand that football is a game of opinions. If this manager doesn't like me, because every trial I had anyways, it was a learning experience for me. And in the next
Yeah,
trial you go to, you become more confident. But yeah, that's what I would say.
100%. And I'm showing on my screen on YouTube right now. I've got an experience with a trial. This is for AFC Wimbledon. Okay, so I've got the actual email of Mark, who's the coach at the time, and he's like, like, come and trial. So I'm like, cool. All right, so I'm there. I got the actual email on my screen. I'm like, great opportunity. So I go over to London. And long story short, guys, I had 3 training sessions. And I was okay. It was like what the first person said in that video. He was like, yeah, I was, you were there with the standard, but you weren't 3 to 5 times better, twice as better than all the other players. So that's what it
Hmm.
was like for me. I basically, after the trainings, and Mark told me, look, mate, you're just kind of there with the standard, etc. I'm like, Mark, like, so we're sitting down at this like coffee shop near the training ground. and then I sit with him and I'm like, Mark, can you tell me like my strengths and weaknesses? What do you think I'm good at? What do you think I need to improve to really try and make it to the next level? And so it's so key for you guys. If you get put in these situations where you're put under pressure, you're put with players that are better than you, or maybe you are with the standard, but you know that maybe you're not one of the best. So you really know that there's a lot to learn, a lot to improve on. Literally, I did this in my notes on my phone. I just took notes with what Mark was saying, and Mark was saying, Nick, you look fast off the ball, but on the ball, you look slow. It looks like you don't have a weak foot. Looks like your decision making needs to improve, and all these different things he started saying. I'm like, okay, and then he's like, strength wise, like your one touch passing was good. Your ball control, it really stood out. And these kind of things, you start taking notes, you start taking patterns of this information. And when you go to more trials, okay, so there was AFC Wimbledon, I had more trials after that. I'm like, oh, I can see the coaches are saying the same things. I can see they're saying your ball control, your technique is really good. Some of them saying, oh, your speed on the ball is really, really fast. I'm like, okay, these are things I can really nail down, really improve on. So when I go to the next trial, I know which strengths I'm undeniably good at because I've got that feedback so much that I need to show these skills, make them better than the rest of the squad. And then I have that confidence to go in and be like, yeah, okay, I know my shooting with my left and my right is better than the rest usually. So I'm just going to show that. And in training, improving the other things like, okay, my weak foot isn't good. Yeah, we got to improve that. And just get all the fundamentals to a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, okay, which is a good standard, and make sure your 9, your 8 out of 10 strengths become 10 out of 10s, 11 out of 10s, undeniable. Use these opportunities as feedback. Don't get in your mind about rejection, whether you succeeded or you fail or someone doesn't like you. Okay, just use it as feedback and get as many opportunities as possible to get that feedback and use that feedback to your strength to train and use it to your advantage.
100% agree, man. Self accountability is key. You got to, understand, where you can improve on, because everyone can improve. Like there's always room for improvement, and sometimes it could just be that little minor detail that you need to improve on, which could earn you that contract. So never take it as like a negative. Just take it as like, okay, that's fine. These are my strengths. Once you perfect your strengths, yeah, if you know what you're good at, guys, let me tell you, if you know what you're good at, and you go on a trial and you know your strengths, play to your strengths. Don't go on a trial and start doing something that you've never done before and you're trying to, I don't know, if you were never like a skillful player or you never did like skills or whatever during a game, don't go on trial and start doing that because that's not your game. You're just doing that because you're in an environment where you feel like, I need to stand out, I need to show off. And that is the worst thing to do. Sometimes, I'd say 9 times out of 10, yeah, that doing the basics at a very high level, right? Doing the simple things at a very high level in a match, in training or in a match situation on trial is much, much more important than trying to show that you can do a couple of step overs and you're a flashy player. Don't get me wrong. At times, if you're an attacking player, if you're a winger, you're 1v1 with a player and you're taking them on, that's great. Perfect. But if, in general, do the basics at a very high standard, and 9 times out of 10, that makes you look, that makes you stand out, believe it or not.
Yep, 100% Sam. Z says the coach said that I wasn't physical enough. It's like, again, take it as feedback. It's like, you weren't physical enough. Okay, learn from that. Were you like? We talked about this yesterday about core strength. Is your core strength like? Your core strength's not strong enough, so you can't go flying into those challenges, or you can't go shoulder to shoulder with a player because you get knocked off the ball. Maybe you need to work on your core strength. So just take these as feedback and think about what's the plan to improve from there.
Yeah.
What's the next question?
Sesame, I see you, bro. Sorry, Sam. You must be tired of my negativity. I'm just feeling down. Like I feel like giving up. Don't feel like giving up. So, a quick intro on Sesame, Nick, because he's been in my lives for a few months now. So he's a South Asian player. So and he feels like he doesn't get opportunity. He doesn't get the same amount of opportunities as someone who's from, I don't know, Europe or someone who's English, etc. And because he's South Asian, they look down on him and he doesn't get the same kind of opportunities. And obviously that affects him mentally, and he feels like because of where he's from, he feels like that is the reason why he's not getting scouted.
And where is Sesame playing? Like, where does he live?
I think he lives up north in the UK.
Okay, so he's South
Yeah.
Asian guy that lives up north, and you feel
Yeah.
like discriminated against because you're from Asia, South Asia.
100%. I'm English, bro. Just brown. Midlands.
I mean, like there are plenty of brown players playing all over
Yeah.
the Premier League.
Exactly. I feel like you have obviously, because you've put that in yourself, and you've said to yourself, this is the reason why. It don't get me wrong. Maybe it could have happened once or something, and you feel like it happens all the time. But we can't generalize every single person in every single club for that reason. So I think sometimes you just need to tell yourself maybe it's about other reasons as well, and holding yourself accountable to understand these are the areas I need to improve on, to stand out fully, like to make sure you are a 10 out of 10, you are a 20 out of 10. So there's no excuses. They have no other reason, because they're going to be like, Jesus, we can't lose on this player. We can't lose.
Guys, this is just a motivational podcast right now because, like, first, as Sam said, you have to look at yourself. Like, okay, if you really believe, with all your heart and your intuition, you're feeling that you were the best player in the field wherever you go, then okay, maybe there's something there that can be addressed. But it's like what was said many times over. Like cream just rises to the top, and if you got the skill, if you got the level, it doesn't matter what color skin you are, whether you're yellow, brown, white, black, doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't matter. It's football. It's a multicultural game, and I love Jay-Z, Sam.
Yeah, of course.
Jay-Z just came to my head because I don't know exactly where he said this, but I watched an interview, I don't know, years ago maybe, but he was like sometimes you need to look at someone who did it before you. So who was the first South Asian player to play in the Premier League or in the Football League or to play professionally or to really make waves? Like, look at their stories. They've already created a blueprint for you.
No one.
Like the no one.
There must be a few in the EFL. I know a couple in the EFL for sure.
Hold on. Can't. Nah, we're being too negative here. There are players of South Asian descent that play professionally in the UK.
Of course there is.
Yeah.
Hamza Chowdhury. He played in the Premier League. Exactly. He's a perfect example. He went through the Leicester City Academy growing up.
We got some here, okay? I just Googled this. We have Sunil Chetri. Yeah, Indian team. He was a great player. Recently retired.
Michael Chopra. Legend. He's a legend. I used to watch him back when he used to play for Sunderland, bro. Bags, man. Big striker.
Yeah. Hamza's a big one because he's currently like a player, and he was referenced a lot last few years. Hamza, because of his hair. Love his hair.
Yeah.
But look, like we don't even need to address this any further. I think that response already about no one. You said no one. It's complete BS. That already says a lot about the attitude side. You really need to change it. Like, and we're just going to tell you straight up. It's already using excuses about because they don't like me because of my skin color. It's not. It's not.
Don't ever give him a reason. Like, just literally be unbelievable. Yeah, be unbelievable, and trust me, clubs won't be able to turn you down. Believe me. Let your talent, let your feet do the talking on the pitch, and everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah.
If you want anything to do with it, I say, got it, Sam. My guy.
Got it, Sam. Let's go. Like, excuse.
That's what I want. That's what me and Nick want. We want to see all of you guys here on the big screens. I want to see you guys. I want to put on the Sky Sports, and I want to be like, "Hey, that's Sesame, man." He used to be on the TikToks of us. Now he's playing in the big leagues.
Yeah. Watch
That's
out
what
for
we
me, he
want.
says. Yes, that's what we want. That's what we want. Z says, Nick, is it all right? I don't know what does he mean by is it all right? But man, like here's one thing, guys. Get the like write down this word. Okay, this is the 30 days dedication day. Was it day 6?
Day 6,
Okay,
yeah.
excusitis. You know, you got diseases for certain things like influenza and I don't know COVID. Like excusitis, guys. It's a disease. It's a disease of making excuses for
It is.
everything. It's a disease, guys, and it some people have it their whole lives, and it affects them so negatively. Get excusitis out of your system, delete it, wipe it, be conscious of it. If you find yourself making excuses of why you can't do something, because it only holds you back. It only holds you back.
For sure.
Excusitis, remove it.
Believe when it happens, I'll mention you some thanks, brother. My pleasure, bro. It's our pleasure to keep on helping you guys and giving you that advice. Any other questions you see, Nick?
I see Callum O'Keefe. Good to see you. Callum couldn't make it to the call yesterday. He actually sent me a message on LinkedIn. Callum's like, I have a call with Lee Cole. He's doing some IDP calls in the Train Effective app.
Nice.
So guys, if you're ever looking for an individual development program from a mentor, go to the Train Effective app. We have the section you can schedule IDP calls. So check that out. So Callum, good to see you again. What? Yeah, first touch. YouTube says definitely don't make excuses. Just fix the issue. Don't make excuses. Just fix the issue. Yes, 100%. Any question you see, Sam?
Vasquez asking tips for strikers. Strikers, very. I get this striker question a lot, but I'll go over it again. So, as a striker, right, make sure first and foremost you have to be hungry for goals, right? You're a striker. You want to have that. Look at Haaland. Haaland's probably that kind of player. I look at him. Man City could win 5-0, and if he didn't score in that game, he'd step off the pitch thinking, I'm pissed off. You know, I should have scored today, and that's the kind of mentality you need to have as a striker. And then obviously the rest is the basics. Your first touch needs to be clean, being able to play, link up, play with your midfielders, play with your back to goal. Is so important as a striker because most of the game you're going to be playing with your back to goal. So you need to be able to be able to adapt, to be able to pin the defenders, have good movement in behind, and then in and around the area, just be sharp, shift, shoot. Being able to score with your head makes all the difference. So yeah, man, just be hungry for goals and make sure again you perfect the basics of a striker's role. And any chance you get, you're calm in front of goal.
AL57, can you say hello to me? I have your app. Yes, thank you for the Train Effective app. Maya A, for the app, are there any defender or midfielder plans for the monthly challenge? Yes, so many. So many. Just download the app, you'll see all the challenges there. Guys, today the topic that we have is about trials. So we're going to try keep on topic about the trial situation. I got one that's a little bit off topic, but I think it's an interesting one, and we can weave it back into the trials side. But one on YouTube says from M Fahad, what if someone trains individually with a coach or a partner between the ages of 15 to 18, and then from 18 they start to play matches? Will he be good? What would just be your short, direct take on that, Sam?
Don't wait till 18 to start playing matches. Play matches from young, man. Like, trust me that you because the earlier you're in a match situation, the more match experience you'll get, and the only way you're going to understand football, okay, is putting yourself in a match environment because you can do all the training in the world, but you need to play matches. How do you know what kind of runs to make? How do you know, when to go short, when to press? How do you know, what kind of movements to make? All of these that happen in a match, and the more matches you play, it starts to become second nature for you. So you start to understand your role as a player a lot more than just doing training and then waiting until you're 18 to play in a match. So I would say the earlier you can get in a team, play matches as young as possible.
And one thing I'd say is like I used to train so much because, guys, I didn't start taking football really seriously until I was like 16. Okay. So I spent so much of my time training unopposed. And what I mean by unopposed is like it's just me with the ball, walls, like shooting on the goal and stuff like that. And it's that stuff is very important, okay, to develop the pillars of your game. Very, very important. But you'll start to see a point where if you don't apply those things against real people and against real pressure. Like you could be doing all the unopposed practice in the world, but once you get into a pressure situation, you're actually taking someone on one instead of just dribbling through the cones. Like you'll see, okay, there's actually a real body that I have to get past. And then you go into matches. Oh, I actually have to communicate with my teammates. Oh, I actually have to scan and see what's behind me because if I'm there's one thing just doing first touch drills and getting a better first touch, but it's one thing to do it under pressure when you got a hand on your back. So yeah, really key play matches. A lot of times we get a rebuttal response, Sam, and people say, "Oh yeah, but the teams in my league are crap." Like, "Oh, there's only five aside in my area," or like, "Oh, like the coach doesn't like me for that one team, and like I stopped playing, whatever." And so they're just waiting out for teams. We even saw it with one goalkeeper that we know, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, that just comes down to excuses. And what was the word you used? Excuses. Oh, say that again. Excusitis. That's exactly, man. That's the word. It just goes back to that. Listen, just it doesn't matter where it is. Just play for a team as young as possible. Even if the other players are not up to your standard, you will stand out regardless. And then someone watching you will be like, "Oh, I want you to join our team," or the best team in that league will say, "You're too good for your team. Come and play for our team." That's how football works, guys. But unless you put yourself in that environment, it's you won't know.
Yeah, 100%.
Guys, I want to ask the chat. Give us your experiences about your football trials, and have you guys had good experiences? Have you had bad experiences? You've heard myself and Nick's kind of experience with trials, and the ones that maybe weren't too great, etc. But give us an insight of the trials that you've been to, or just give us a little bit more information so we can understand you and give you some tips and advice moving forward.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Sam, I got a question for you. What was your worst trial?
My
The
worst
worst
trial.
you were like, "Oh, I did not do well."
My worst trial. What was my worst trial?
You want to think about it, and I'll give you my answer.
Yeah, go on. You go
All
first
right.
while I think about it.
I actually, when I was like, so guys, if you don't know my story, I didn't take football really seriously until I was like 16. So I had a lot of catching up to do, a lot of hours of training to do. And one thing I do to evaluate myself because I wasn't in a great team, I'm like, I'm gonna go to these trial camps, something similar to train effective camps that we have now. Okay, we have players that come from all over the world. I went to a couple of these when I was 16, 17, 18, just to test myself to see where I was at. So I went to one in England, and we had like a 1 week camp. And at the end of the camp, there's like a game you play, and there's supposedly scouts there and stuff. So this is my first ever camp, doing some sort of camp like this. And the whole week, I was thinking to myself, "Oh, I gotta do well in that game. I gotta do well in that game. I gotta do well in that game." And that pressure really got to me because I would play the match, and the people watching, a lot of the players I was with, they were good or better than me, probably the majority better than me. And I was always thinking to myself, "Oh, I went out on the field. I didn't really want the ball. I was like, oh man, just don't like. I wasn't seeking the ball. I wasn't really looking for the ball. And the story almost writes itself. The ball came to me. I lost the ball. Ball came to me again. Lost the ball again. And I'd say within a 45-minute period, I lost the ball maybe 9, 10 times. And I was like, had my head down in my hands, like I wasn't good. The coach after the game pulled me aside and was like, Nick, like what else are you good at? Because football isn't for you. Literally said those words. And I was thinking, man, this is awful. So I went back on the train back to London, and I was like, oh, like maybe the coach is right. Like this football isn't for me. But then over the next few weeks, I went home and I'm like, oh, it's because mentally I was not in a good state. I was overthinking all the decisions I was making. I was After I lost the ball the first time, it came this spiral of, oh, I'm gonna lose the ball again, I'm gonna lose the ball again, and you hide away from the ball. And so that was definitely my worst trial experience. One that made me way stronger, because I said to myself, I'm going to go to another camp or another like a trial opportunity in a month, and I'm going to see how I do. And I got one more a month after that. I'll see how I do. And I did. I changed my approach. I ended up scoring goals in the matches. There was one match I was one of the best players on the field, and I was like, I'm getting scouted, boys and girls. It's over. I'm good. And sometimes even when you are the best player in the field, it just doesn't work out. Maybe like they're just not looking for your position or your height or your weight or whatever it is. But yeah, that was my worst experience, which turned into actually a positive experience.
Exactly. You took that first experience as a learning experience, and then there's the other trial you stood out, and that's what it's about. That's literally what it's about. So like for me, similar experience to you. I went to like one of these trials where you're playing in front of scouts, etc. And I remember like leading up to it, like my preparation was all wrong. Like I remember like I went to like this house party with my friends the night before that my trials the next day, and I'm going, and I was thinking, yeah, I'll be fine. Like, and I've turned up the next day and like I'm sluggish, like I'm not performing to the level that I know I can perform. Like I'm losing all my battles. I'm losing the ball on the pitch. And I remember the first opportunity I had in the game I missed, and then from then I was thinking, oh my days, like. And then from then, I was like to myself, never again am I going out the day or the night before a game. Like I got to make sure I prepare correctly, because it starts from there. It starts from there. As soon as you prepare wrong, it will transfer onto the pitch, and then you'll see it and you'll feel it. So that was probably, yeah, I'd say it's probably my worst trial. But again, it taught me a lot, and I learned from it to not make the same mistakes in my next trial.
I've got to kind of listen carefully. But I know players that have gone out the day before important events in their life, like a tryout or an important game or something. Like they'll go out the night before, and then they just perform badly, and like it just doesn't work for them. I feel now that I'm a bit older and I have a bit more experience, and I might have done this myself once or twice when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
You're already sabotaging yourself before the event, because mentally you actually just didn't feel ready, or you didn't want the pressure, or you didn't actually even want to go play in this team or this high level or something. So you sabotage yourself. You
Yeah.
actually, and it's like we're getting deep into the psychological weeds, guys. But you guys are footballers, and I've also seen this with other players that have come to our camps and stuff. And that you see them do all these things, and you think, like, why are they doing that? Even I'll even say this, Sam. We've had players at train effective camps that perform really well, and they get a call up for the elite camp because they perform so well in the camp or the apps, and then they stop replying, or they don't send what they need to, and you think to yourself, this guy's got a really good shot at playing at the highest level or the next level, but they stop replying. And you think, why? But actually, it's because like, well, it's almost like they're sabotaging themselves. They don't really want to go to that higher up.
It's so true. It's so true, and you see so many examples of that, of players, at our camps, outside our camps, just in general. Like players, like you have to understand. Sometimes that could be your only opportunity, and like if you have a major trial coming up, or you have an opportunity to join a camp like Train Effective, and then I don't know, you don't respond, or you show that your attitude is not really correct in terms of how you're conducting yourself, and you're showing us that it doesn't really affect you if you wanna go to that trial, or if you don't want to go to that trial. It already starts off on a bad note, because you're showing like the wrong kind of what's the word? Help me out here.
The wrong, like, if you're slow to respond to something, does it show that you really want it?
That's the thing. You're not showing it that you really want it. You're showing it like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like like you're not really bothered. And that is why I always ask players, like, how bad do you really want it? A lot of players just say, yeah, I want it so bad. I want it so bad. But do you actually want it? Like, is this something that you really want? Are you going to sacrifice everything for you to go and get this opportunity? Or is it just words? And from my perspective, I see a lot of players that just, they talk a good game, but I don't feel like, they actually put in the hours and hours and hours of work and the sacrifices needed to be done to actually make it and to become a professional footballer.
Yeah. And it's these pressure moments, the tryouts or the games, or when someone's watching, where you actually, like, psychologically, it tests you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really want this or not? And a lot of the time, especially when you're younger, you're not even really thinking about it, but some of those actions that you make actually show everything. And that's the thing, guys. You might not even notice it yourself, or you might not think you're giving out these signals, but we've seen it with so many. We've seen hundreds of players now, thousands of players that we've spoken to, and then you get these little signals like, okay, why do they stop replying as fast as we asked for their highlight video? Like, okay, why is it taking 1 week to get back to us about their highlight video? Like, what happened to a few months ago when they're responding a lot quicker? Does that mean they stopped training? Does that mean they lost confidence in themselves? But they're really good a few months ago, so they're not responding as quick. Have they lost confidence? Oh, we can't recommend them now to a club because it feels like they're just not on it. But when the player is on it and they're in it, and then you get that opportunity, then good things usually happen.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. Be ready,
Agreed.
guys. Be always ready.
Any other questions, guys?
I've got some stories to share from YouTube. We got 165 Yaya Kora. I've been going to tryouts for the last 4 years and kept getting rejected, but now I joined a second division team in Qatar. Sounds a lot like Fahad, who's gone 3 times to train effective camps, who's playing in a second division team in Qatar, right?
Yeah, he is.
I forget the name. Do you remember the name?
I forgot.
Anyway, he's saying, I joined a second division team in Qatar and trained with the first team, sometimes played 1 pro match as the youngest. And what changed is that I pushed really hard in the summer. Okay. Thanks for sharing that story. Guys, 1 summer, 1 3-month period is all it takes. We've referenced the story of Marcus Rashford before he had his best season at Manchester United. The whole summer he was training. He was on his social media. All you saw was training, montages of him training. Like, he really wanted it. Ended up having his best season. We see it with Haaland right now. Like, it's the in season, but you see how serious he's taking his recovery, and you think he might have the best season he's had in his whole life this season.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the way you see you do things. So, guys, this is your winter arc. The 30 days of dedication was going to be called the winter arc because it is winter time or approaching winter time, and a lot of players just switch off now, especially those in colder climates. And there's a season break, or you have less trainings or whatever. This is actually the time where you can flip things around. You just got to want it. If you come here every day, you learn, you listen, use the Train Effective app, come to a Train Effective camp in December, April, next summer, guys, we've got your back.
100%. Yeah, Francis, I can see you need help with developing as a striker. Come to our camp and I will help you firsthand. I will help you. I will show you all the minor details that's going to take your game to the next level. So,
Woo. One-on-one coaching right there, Francis.
I'm telling you here straight, come and I will help you. because I can give back to you guys here. A lot of the things that I'm telling you, things about how to improve, etc. But to experience it firsthand and to see the minor details and how you strike a ball, and the different kind of finishing drills that we'll be doing at the camps, etc. Trust me, it will help you massively. I'm 44. Is it too late?
No, but hold on. You know this is going to be a serious topic, guys. Is 44 years old too late to be a pro footballer? Is 44 years old too late?
Oh mate, Francis,
It-
go on our camp website, traineffector.com/camps. Our camps are in London, bro. So you're not too far. You just need to get to London, and we take care of you whilst you're there. You can apply for it on our website.
Guys, if you've ever met, this is why I'm actually not laughing. Is 44 years old too late? There's a 45-year-old who made his pro debut. I think it was 1 year ago. I'm not kidding. I'm sharing my LinkedIn. I did a post about this because it was real. Okay, there was a guy named Courtney Raum. He signed with a second division club in, I think it was Portugal, and he actually played in a Division One college, and then he didn't play after that, or maybe he had a little bit of a stint, didn't play after that. He then started playing again for this team at 45. This is a real story. A real
Wow.
story. I got the video playing right now. It's him coming on the pitch, making his pro debut.
Wow, that's
45 years
insane.
old. 45 years old. And then there's another one, and you guys know this story. Like I'm sure half of you guys know the story, and it's King Kazu, the Japanese footballer, 58 years old, guys. He's still playing. So it's why at Train Effective we believe it's just never too late. Like now these are 1 in a million cases.
Mm.
Okay, it's very unreasonable to expect that you could do it at that age. Have other circumstances come in their life, like maybe they're connected to the owner or something. Yeah, definitely. But it still shows that things are possible. So you just got to find your way in.
For sure. It's just about the environment you're in. Literally about the environment you're in.
100%. First Touch Football says maybe there's still hope for me then. Yeah, Chris is a trainer himself. Chris says I'm 45 and I practice 5 days a week. I'm too old to become a pro. He says, I wish it wasn't. I played all my life. I play in a league with 22-year-olds and they give me a tough time. But yeah, he's enjoying it. That's what it's all about.
Exactly, man. Enjoy the game as long as you can play, guys. Football's a short career. Trust me. So as long as you can play, just play as long as you can. What's a good physique for football? Because I want to be ripped, but not too ripped. What should I do? So again, like, make sure, like, being ripped is more like it looks nice, right? But you want to make sure that you're eating, obviously your nutrition is good, and you want to make sure that what we spoke about the other day, your core strength is good. Okay. If your core strength is good, and if you don't, like, it's not, you're not ripped, you're not, it's not looking like crazy like Ronaldo, but you have good core strength. That's still good. Like, you need that for football. So don't look at it as if like, oh, I need to be ripped. I need to show like I've got 8-pack. But you don't need that, bro. You just need to have a good core strength. So is the lottery, but if you don't buy a ticket, you got no chance. Always keep going, never go up. Facts, bro. That's facts.
Yeah, you create your own luck. You create your own luck. Okay. There's people that are lucky. People lucky create their own luck. They actually bought the lottery ticket.
Exactly.
I was actually looking at a video speaking of this, and maybe we can touch upon body fat. But there was this video I saw earlier, and it was just going through kind of what the ideal body fat is for different people. Um, and it'll show for women. I'm just showing on the screen for women. Like you have a range from like say 0% body fat to like 50%. I think in America, the average is like 40% for a woman,
Really?
something like that.
Wow. Okay.
40%. You got to watch this video from a guy called Jeff Nippard. He's done an
Hmm.
this video belongs on Netflix, guys. It's so good. But he really distills like what's the optimal body fat and things like that. So it's a really good video. I think for women, it's something like 25, 30%. And for men, it's like 20%. But
Okay.
basically in this video, he'll go from like people with 50% body fat and kind of what they look like and what their health is like to someone with very low body fat, like the guy. You can see a guy on the right who's just shredded. He's got like 5% body fat or something.
Mm.
But, the thing is, there's also a bad thing to this. If you got low body fat, like it's less than 10%, people start getting really wild mood swings. They feel hungry all the time because your body fat percent is so low. You literally just feel hungry all the time. That they're mentally ready to explode. They got a lot of brain fog. So yeah, have a look at this video, guys. It's a
You
good
know,
one.
definitely gonna watch it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's
It's-
true what you say. You can't like you need body fat. Like a body fat is vital. Obviously, you don't want to have too much of it, but you need to have the right amount, and you don't want to have too little of it because, as you said, Nick, like it will do the opposite effect if you have too little of it. But yeah, finding a balance is so key.
Yeah, and I have a little chart that I'm showing right here, and the guy's basically trying to basically like explain, okay, your body fat percentage, what kind of range of body fat percentage actually gives you the highest energy. And when your body fat percentage is too low, like let's say under 10%, a lot
Mm.
of people they're not performing well actually because like the body fat percentage is too low. But it really depends on genetics. So I don't want to act here as the expert on body fat, depends on your genetics. But the optimal that they're saying here is between 10 to 15%, especially for athletes, 10 to 15%, especially footballers, because
Yeah,
it's such an
sounds
all
about
round
right.
sport. Yeah. So highest energy is between that 10 to 15, maybe 20% range.
Yeah.
Like Ronaldo, no cap. Yeah, what is Ronaldo's body fat percentage? What?
No, you must be like I don't know.
Let's give it a look, guys. Ronaldo's body fat percentage. They're saying his body fat is 7% on AI, Google AI. Um,
Yeah, I'd say it's anything between seven to like 9%.
yeah, and a really key thing to also understand here is muscle mass. So if you got a lot of lean like muscle mass, it makes a big difference. Um, so yeah, it's not just all about body fat percentage; it's also about your muscle mass percentage.
Mm.
Very key. Very key. Yeah, so it depends genetically. I think a lot of people will argue that Ronaldo's got some really good genetics that contribute to him being a top footballer and a top athlete. So maybe for Ronaldo, it depends. Maybe
True.
for Sam Shaban, it depends. Maybe Sam Shaban is maybe on the higher end, I don't know.
Definitely on the higher end.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
You want to take one more question, Sam? How many questions
yeah.
we got left?
One last question because I've got a game tonight, guys. So I
Oh,
need to I need to shoot off.
Sam's got a game, guys. So let's take one from Callum because Callum's the OG of the 30-day dedication.
Yeah.
Callum says, and Ronaldo had a heart condition when he was younger. That's right, Sesame Street. You know what? Now he's getting rid of the excuses. Ronaldo had a heart condition. Look what happened. Also, plenty of players that have asthma. They get through
Yeah.
that. You know how hard that is, beating asthma as well and running high intervals? So Callum says, I'm thinking of leaving my club at the end of the season, moving up a division or two. What's the best impression to a new club I can make? What's the best first impression he could make?
Be on time. Yeah. Your punctuality most important. Make sure that sets the first impression. So make sure you're on time. And on time doesn't mean that if they say get there at 10 a.m., you get there at 10 a.m. Get there 10, 15 minutes earlier all the time. When you're there, have a good attitude. Okay, have a good attitude. Show a good attitude. When you're training, train at 100% every single day. And then in the matches, if you're not playing, if you're on the bench, keep a good attitude. When you get your opportunity, go on the pitch, impact the game, and show that, regardless whether you're on the bench or you're starting, your attitude doesn't change. You're still the same Callum. You're still putting in 100% day in, day out. And that sets you apart from everyone else. And you'll show the manager that, look, I have a great attitude. I'm always on time. I'm always here. I'm always working. And it shows a kind of your eagerness to be in the squad and help the team. I'd say, you start doing that on a consistent level, you will start seeing the benefits on the pitch as well. But always have a good attitude and be on time, especially if you're going to a new team, because it just sets a great first impression.
Yep, 100%. One thing I'd also say, Callum, is try and enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people put too much pressure on themselves. They get nervous. Just try and treat it like you're going to go play with your friends at school. You're not going to mess around a bit, but like have that same excitement. Like, oh, it's a good challenge for me. Try and really hack your brain. Try and think this is the new challenge for me. I'm excited.
Exactly. And trust me, like as the season goes on and as you're more involved with your teammates, you will make friends. Like that's just a normality of getting in a new team. I joined a new team this season. I didn't know anyone there. But after 3-4 months that I've been there now, it's it seems like I've been with them for years. So yeah, you make them as you play with each other, as you train with each other. So don't worry about that too much. As Nick said, make sure you enjoy it. It's so important you enjoy it. You have fun at training, you have fun in the games, and then you'll be making your new friends very soon.
100%.
But yeah,
Callum says he tries to have his mind clear, mind blank. Yeah, just get in the zone. Just feel it, man. Feel it. If you want something to get you in the zone, yeah, you know what? I'll leave. Let's leave people on this, guys. If you want to get in the zone, if you want to have your mind clear playing, watch The Last Dance from the Michael Jordan documentary. Okay, it's on Netflix. Maybe it's not on Netflix anymore, but just Google it. The Last Dance, best sports documentary of all time. It will motivate the SHIT out of you guys. It will motivate you. Watch that.
I agree. I second that. That was the best doc I've seen for sure.
Have you watched it twice, Sam, or just once?
I've watched it once, but now you're making me want to watch it again.
Right before Christmas. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. No, it's great. It's great. Yeah. Nefemi, we'll get to your questions tomorrow. Last Dance with Top Sesame. Right. Guys, let's wrap this up. This was day 6 of the 30 days dedication. We'll be celebrating 1 week, 7 days tomorrow. So make sure you come on to stream tomorrow. We're going live at, is it 4 p.m. again?
Yeah, 4 p.m. UK time, yeah.
4 p.m. UK time, guys. So Sam and I look forward to seeing you there. If you're on TikTok right now, listening, like turn on the notifications for TikTok, your notification settings. Like make sure you're following us, you're subscribed to us, so you know when we're going live next.
Thanks for being here with us, guys. See you guys all tomorrow. Have a great Tuesday. Take care, guys.
See you TikTok and YouTube podcast. Everyone listening right now, we really appreciate you guys watching. Guys. And Callum, Chris, Yaya, we'll see you guys tomorrow.